This is the start of the second big training block. During the current lockdown restrictions, hospital visiting hours are only available at lunchtime, so I've moved my run to pre-dawn. I pulled up really well from the failed time trial, so on Sunday and Monday it was probably the best I've felt regarding stiffness and soreness. Indicates that it was very much a mental weakness that stopped me rather than physical. I didn't really dig that hard, so that should mean that I had a lot in reserve for those last 2k had I been able to continue. Yesterday I went out and did another Kenyan Hills session on the freeway overpass, the footbridge. My last 2 hill sessions on that footbridge were 22 minutes of hills, the next one was 25. This time I did 30 minutes of hill work. I ease into it, but I build up to get my heart rate into that zone 4 and then hold that in that zone 4 level for the full 30 minutes. Obviously the heart rate's not constant, it goes up a bit on the uphills and then drops a little on the flat and downhill. I want to take the heart rate up close to threshold for the uphill. I don't really want to go over threshold. The hill session is strength and technique, so I don't want to fatigue myself so much that my technique starts to fall away. But I want to hold a bit of pace on that flat and downhill, especially when doing a hill. You don't want to think of going up the hill, you want to think of going over the hill. I'm sure you've done a race with a hill in it. You've seen people run up the hill and then almost stop at the top to recover. That means you've gone up too fast. In any race with the hill, you want to return to race pace as soon as you get to the top of the hill. If you're doing these hill efforts around zone 4, I think 30 minutes is the longest you would want to do. If you want to get in more hills, you could do 2 20-minute efforts with a recovery in between, or even 3 15-minute efforts, again with a recovery in between those. If you wanted to get in more hill work than that, you really need a different session. So a session where you're not holding that zone 4 the whole time. That might be a longer hill session where you stay at the aerobic level, or you could do harder repeats up a longer hill and then have a recovery after each hill effort. Planning another early start tomorrow, get out on the trails before the congestion hits and get in a nice aerobic run. Plan at the moment is about 75 minutes, just nice and easy. Thursday, another pre-dawn recovery run along the beach. Low tide today, legs feel quite sluggish this morning. I don't know if it's because I'm on different sand because of the low tide, it's softer, but a lot harder to turn the legs over. Yesterday's aerobic run went well, although my knees have been a little sore for the last day or 2, so just have to work on that. Bit of stretching, bit of foam roller, hopefully that'll come good for the weekend. Tempo intervals tomorrow. Last time it was 3 times 2 kilometers. Tomorrow it'll be 2 times 3 kilometers. I see that as progression. I think 2 longer efforts are harder than 3 sort of medium efforts. It'll also help with that, just that mental aspect of running the efforts for longer. So I worked on that on Monday with the Kenyan Hills, so that was a 30-minute effort at zone 4. Tomorrow obviously the 3k efforts will be sort of just over 12 minutes, and the heart rate will be a little bit higher than the Kenyan Hills, but hopefully that'll just mentally improve that ability to hold that, to sustain that effort. Saturday. Yesterday I was definitely lacking in motivation, didn't really want to go out and do the run. What's been really helping me with my consistency is keeping my running streak alive. At the moment I think I'm up over 190 consecutive days of running. I finally got out and did my 2 3k tempo intervals, and one of the best sessions so far this season. Back in late July, when I finished my base training phase and moved into what I called early quality, I did a threshold interval session where it was 750 meters at threshold with 400 meters recovery times 4. Yesterday I did 2 3K efforts, so the efforts were 4 times as long and the total amount of the efforts was twice as much. Yet I reckon it felt easier than those first 4 750 meter efforts. I mention it a lot, but it's about that progression. So don't try to do everything at once, just build slowly over time and that improvement will just continue. It's about consistency. So if you start off biting off too much, good chance of getting injured. If you keep on just doing small steps, that means you can keep on going, you can maintain consistency, and over time you will be getting to those bigger sessions. My aim is to build up to a single 5K tempo effort. Signs like this crack me up. I don't know if you can read that. It says road ahead, as if you couldn't actually see the road. 2 bits of exciting news this week. One, I've entered a triathlon. So it's not until November next year, so 13 months away. It's a half Ironman. It's Ironman Melbourne 70.3. The second bit of exciting news is that there are strong rumours that the 5K radius limit that we're allowed to leave our house will be extended to 20 kilometres next week. So especially with the triathlon coming up in 13 months, it means I'll be able to do up to an 80k ride. I think I've done about 90 minutes of cycling since February, so 80k for the moment is going to be plenty. It'll also encourage me to get out and ride because I really don't enjoy the indoor trainer, and I thought I'd do a bit over winter, but I think I did 2 rides. And even better news than all of that, it looks like Elaine should be getting out of hospital on Monday. It's Sunday, finished my long run, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Legs have felt a little bit beat up this week, so I kept the long run all on soft trails. All up, that brings the week's running total to 66 kilometres or 41 miles. I think the only improvement to that would be getting my long run back up to 2 hours. Back in base training before the second lockdown, I was running just over 2 hours. Obviously that was cut back with the 1 hour limit on exercise, and I still haven't had enough time to extend it back up there without my body feeling too sore. I hope you found it interesting. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. See ya.